Hey, everybody. I'm here with my father, Andrew Johnson Sr., and we're going to have a live conversation, uncut, real, raw, heartfelt. And we're so honored to be here with you, Dad.
Thank
How are you
you.
feeling today?
Pretty good.
All right. So we're going to talk. Our conversation today is going to be pretty broad and pretty open. Just you don't mind sharing.
No, I don't mind.
That's awesome. Share how you feel concerning having technical difficulties right here. I don't know why that come up.
Maybe I didn't talk loud enough.
Good. Okay. So Dad,
Yes,
why are we here today?
to discuss an important conversation about our loved one that have gone on to be with the Lord, who was precious in our sight and in God's sight.
And who would that be?
It would be Elder Martin Mondez Johnson.
Talk about your son from let's start with early childhood when even before he got here.
Okay. You mean before he was birthed or before he
Yes.
got to California?
We're talking about
Oh.
when you all wanted to have a child and your
Okay.
plans of
Right.
having children, so on and so forth.
Yeah, we had as you know, Andrew, uh, which would have been the third, and we had you, of course, which would have been under him, and then your younger sister. Well, Martin would have came next, and then your younger sister. And your mama and I wanted 4 children. And we prayed for you all that God would bless us with 4 children. Oops, there y'all are. And Martin happened to be one. And he was very talented, like you all were. And he had a special gift and talent of writing songs and singing and playing keys and the keyboard, organ and keyboard. And he used to make fun of me because he could play just like me. He could imitate me. And he would get on the keyboard and imitate, say, Dad, listen. And he'd play like me and start laughing because he could do it. And I marveled at that because that was difficult because I have large hands. And he did too, but not as large as mine. And I could do stretch chords, and which means I stretch my hands out pretty wide and then play a chord and then add the rest of the chords to that chord, which is difficult. And he could do that.
Dad, can I just interrupt real quick?
Sure.
Can you hold that thought? Because that's way ahead of time. So if we could kind of like start with
that's what I was coming to.
Okay, I'm sorry for interrupting that.
And so your mom and I prayed for you all that we wanted 4 children. And God blessed us with you 4. And then we turned around and consecrated you all, gave you all back to the Lord and thanking him for such beautiful children. And so then when Martin came on the scene, I was playing in my church where I was pastoring. And it's difficult to play and pastor because you involved in several activities. So Martin wanted to play. He felt like one of his callings was to play the keys. And at that point, it was the Hammond organ. And so he asked me if I would show him some chords on the organs, which I did. And he started picking them up slowly but sure. until he got it. I let him start playing for the choir. But Martin was unique because he wouldn't play the song like it was supposed to be. He'd play like what he had in his mind to play. I kept telling him, Martin, you're going to have to play the tune of the song so the choir members and everybody else listening to the song will know what you're playing. And it seemed like it was a while for him to catch on to what I was talking about till he got it in his head. And he understood then that he had to play the melody of the song. And that's when he started playing. Then he started writing his music that God would give him. And he was unique there because he loved praise and worship songs.
Yes.
And that's what he used to play and dedicated to the Lord.
Now, how was he as a young child?
Oh, you mean he was different, period.
How so?
He
What did you like about your youngest son? What was it that made him stand out?
because he had a mind of his own. He didn't let nobody lead him. What he had in his mind that he felt was right, he stuck with that because he believed in it.
Even as a young child?
As a young child, he wouldn't be persuaded by anybody. It's whatever he thought was right, that's what he did. Until you could prove him that he was wrong, then he changed. Otherwise, he wouldn't change it.
So as a young boy growing up, what were some of the things that you took the time to really put in him? What were some of the things?
With the word of God, for one thing. And he took to the word. And I didn't even know he was taken to it like he did, but he fell in love with the word of God. And he fell in love with God first, of course. And he wanted to please God. So that's what he started doing. And he just stayed with that. And then when he started his group and whatever, he kept with that with them. And he started playing in the choir, and he still kept with it, you know.
So as growing up, while growing up, Dad, I know you were pretty good when it came to sports. You were an athlete.
Yes,
You played basketball. You ran track.
yeah,
And I'm not sure if there's any other sport that you participated in, but I know that you were in the newspaper when it came to basketball.
yeah.
And I know that you loved it so much that you wanted your sons to take on the same type of love that you had towards that sport.
Right.
So when talking about Martin, did you ever take the time to get him into basketball and the love of playing that game?
Oh, yes, I did. Him and his brother. I remember in the backyard in Des Moines, in the house where we lived on 18th Street, I took both of them in the backyard and I showed them how to play basketball. And I showed them how to guard older men that they had to play against and guys that was bigger and stronger. I showed them how to guard them so that they wouldn't be ran over or get hurt or anything like that. And they caught on to it. And especially Martin, when he started growing and started getting stronger and his legs got real strong. And he was pressing on his legs. I think it was about 600 pounds or so on his legs. So the larger guys like me and larger thought he was a little pushover at first. Oh, shoot, he gonna try to guard me? And they thought they was gonna run over him. And he ran over them. He stopped them in their tracks. They couldn't go nowhere. And they marveled at that. This little guy is strong. So Martin looked at him grinning, saying, yeah, no, shaking like Matumbo shook his finger.
So when you all, so you obviously you and Martin had the opportunity to play together.
Yes.
And so what were the positions?
Well, he played guard. He played point guard. I was a forward center at the time, so we went up to the Hollywood Y as well as some of the other gyms all around the town, and we played together. And so the guys that we played against that were our friends, they marveled at father and son playing. They loved it. They got a kick out of it because both of us was pretty good. You know, I played semi-pro, and I played with the pros and against the pros. So actually, I was good enough to play pro, but I was married. One time in particular, one coach came to me and asked me, try to convince me if I would go to overseas and play for his team, but I wouldn't do it because I was pastoring plus married and had a family. I could take my family, but I wasn't getting them. That was only like $35,000 at the time. And for me, that wasn't enough money for me to take care of my family and live comfortable with them.
Mm-hmm.
So I refused to go. Yes.
So with Marty, and I do recall him loving the game. He
Oh yeah, he loved the game.
He loved the game. He loved the game.
And he was good.
Yes, he was. There were times when he was at the Forum.
Yeah.
And he was playing. That was, of course, much later in adulthood, being a part of those adult teams and playing within his own community in the Inland Empire.
Right.
And so on and so forth. So let's so now, okay, so we were born and raised in Des Moines, Iowa.
Yes.
And predominantly that's where we
progressed.
We grew, and he was into sports. He played the keys in the church and things like that. Did you see any call on his life in particular?
Yeah, I seen the call on his life, because for one thing, he could get along with the basketball players because they marveled at him because he was so quick. He was so quick. He's one of the quickest guards that you would have ever seen. And because he played with Tracy, what's his name? I'm trying to think of his name.
Does he play professional ball?
Yeah, he played professional ball. Stacy Morgan, I believe was his name. He played for UNLV first, out of out of Las Vegas.
Okay.
He played with him. One day in particular, he was at the LA Trade Tech, and both of them was there playing together. And Stacy liked the way he played because he loved to play with big men because he could pass real good. He was so fast, nobody could guard him. So he could get by his man at any point. So Stacy told him one time, this one guy was talking stuff against Stacy, kept on talking. So Stacy got tired of it, and he told Martin. He said, Martin, just throw the ball up in the air. Martin threw the ball up in the air to a pass to him, and he dunked on the guy. And Martin fell out and told me about it. And so, they like that, and I like that as well. But most of them, and Stacy's not the only one that he played against and with.
Yeah, because when you guys were playing ball in Hollywood, you guys ran into a lot of celebs.
Oh yeah, a lot of celebrities, and one it was I'm trying to think of his name.
Denzel.
No, not him.
He played with
Denzel Washington. Yeah, but he's not the one I'm thinking of. Eric was Eric's name. He played on not Good Time, one of those sitcoms like that. Anyway, he played against him, and Eric tried to guard him, but I told you Martin was so fast and too quick for most guys. Nobody could really guard him. He was too quick. So Eric was talking that stuff against Martin. So Martin told him, man, you can't guard me like that. So he told Martin he could guard him. So he tried to guard Martin, and Martin shook him so quick. And he fell, and Martin broke his ankles. For real. And he was off. He came up through the wire hopping on crutches. He said, Rev.
What?
Yeah, he came to the wire hopping on crutches. He seen me. He said, Rev. I said, yeah. He said, Martin broke my ankle. I said, what? He said, yeah, Martin broke my ankle. That's why I'm on these crutches. I said, wow. Because he was just so quick he could shake you. If you was going to try to go with him, you were in trouble. And that's what happened to him. So
what other fond memories do you have of Marty, in his early ages, just growing up? I recall Marty, he had a fascination at one point with bikes.
Right.
And he would take them apart in the basement.
And rebuild them. Yeah. And rebuild
the bike. Do you
bike.
remember that?
I remember he used to do that and got in trouble with his mother many a time because he would break the bikes all the way down and then rebuild them all the way again. And one of his friends, a neighbor across the street, a good friend of Martin, stole one of his bikes that he put together. And so Martin got so mad at him, that he did that. But he remained friends with him. But yeah, he could fix a lot of things. He could just Mr. Fix It. He thought he could be fix all. But he was good, but he couldn't fix everything, but he was pretty good.
Yeah. Because he was a young boy.
Oh yeah.
I remember that.
That's right.
Getting in trouble for those bikes being downstairs in the basement.
Right. He took them out of the basement, took them to our broken down garage where they had windows that was missing, and you could look right in through the garage, so you were very clear. And so he would take them in there and start working on those bikes until he repaired the bike, so that me and Mom didn't have to buy him a bike. He had him a bike of his own, and it personalized it and started riding it up and down the block. And I remember, and I didn't know this for a long time. Now I'm gonna tell on you that you and your brother was really close.
We were
very, very tight, and to the point where this one guy was always picking on you and Martin until y'all got sick and tired of being sick and tired and started a gang of your own because he had a gang.
Well, he was little. He was short and stocky.
Yeah.
And people did come for him a lot because I want to say because of his talents. He was handsome. Yeah. And he was very talented.
Right.
And so, they would hate on him at such an early age.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah. So there'd be times, do you recall the time when, because it was multiple times where we were met at home.
Yep. Down the block from the house.
The school.
At the church.
Wanting to fight brother Martin.
I remember.
You do remember that?
I remember Elder Henderson he got upset with one of them to the point he almost got in a fight with one that came up to the church to try to fight Martin. He didn't like that. And he tried to handle that for me so I wouldn't have to be bothered with that. And he had to straighten it out, which he did. All turned out well where Martin didn't have to fight. Elder Henderson didn't have to fight, and I didn't have to fight. Thank God for that.
I do remember that same incident. I literally came out of the church, came down the steps, and I whipped that dude's tail. I did.
Woo!
I did. I did. Because we were tired. We were tired of being bullied and picked on. It was really my brother. And yeah, so any fighting that I did, except one fight, it was over him, protecting him.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
Wow. I remember the incident, but I didn't remember that you had whooped his tail for real.
I came out of
I know
church.
it was a threat, but I didn't know it was a follow through.
It was.
He needed it. I shouldn't say it, but
absolutely.
he needed it. You know, too bad you had to do it, but that's the way you felt about your brother. Y'all were so close that if you fool with one, you're gonna fool with the other one because they're gonna get you.
That's right.
That's just the bottom line. And me and your mom may have been wrong, but we taught y'all that. You gotta protect one another.
You taught us that we better not start trouble.
Right.
And then mom taught us that we don't run, from anyone. So we had to protect ourselves, but we could not start a fight.
No.
But we did have to protect ourselves.
Yeah, my cousins did the same way about me and my brother Sam. When we we stayed with our auntie Aunt Airy in Kansas City, Missouri, which had about 15 kids, and her boys was bad. The gangs were scared of them because they could fight. So me and Sam and my mother and my father had split up. And so my mother was taking care of me and Sam, one incident. And so we kept getting in trouble, especially Sam. So mom threatened us and said, okay, y'all do it again. I'm gonna send y'all to y'all's dad. And he was living in Kansas City. And so we got in trouble doing something because of Sam. And he was a mama's boy, baby. And she sent us, called dad, sent us to Kansas City. However, we stayed with Aunt Airy for 2 or 3 days until dad could pick us up because he was in the Leeds area, which is a suburb of Kansas City, Missouri. And so then our cousin, our auntie, actually enrolled us in school. So we went to school, and the gang there, because we were new and fresh, wanted to fight us. So they scheduled a fight after school to fight us. And our cousins found out some kind of way, I don't know how, but they came up to the school and they whooped behind. And they told me and Sam what your mom told y'all. Y'all don't start no fight, but you better end it. And that's whatever. That's, we weren't afraid of anybody. And I wasn't either. So I never started anything, but I ended stuff.
Right. Dad, let me ask you about Martin. Martin, how did you guys come up with his name? Because he does have, his name is Martin. Yes. Martin.
Yes.
Johnson.
Right.
Which is namesake.
Right.
So how did y'all come up with that name?
Because your mother wanted a child with the name Martin, with the first, her maiden name is Martin, Pearl Martin Johnson. She wanted a child with a maiden name of her family, her maiden name, which is the Martin family, big family, as you know, your relatives, a lot of them. So I agreed. I thought that was nice and unique. I hadn't heard that before. I said, that's good. I said, yeah, we can have a child with that name. So when he was born, we gave him that name, but then we was trying to think of a middle name that would go with that name. And for whatever reason, Hispanic name stuck with us. So we named him Martin Mondez Johnson. And we thought that was a nice ring to it. So that's where he got that name from.
Wow.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
Unique and nice.
very, 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 very
Yeah,
unique.
right, right.
Um,
But I'm sorry, as he grew, he had relationship with Hispanic folk. And what used to tickle me, because he could mock anybody. So the folks from India, the people, men and women from India, he could talk just like them. And I don't know how he could do that. He sounded just like he was really from India. And I couldn't do it. I tried my best. I could not do it. But he talked like them and everything. And I used to laugh when he do it. And I said, Martin, how you do that, man? "Yeah, I don't know." And then he started talking again to me as if he was an Indian man from India. And so that was so funny to hear him talk like that.
he was really humorous. Where do
Oh,
you think he got the humor from? His
From our family is very funny and hilarious in certain things and areas. And that's why he couldn't help it. Somebody in the family had to be like that. And he was one of them.
he kept us in stitches.
Oh yeah. You gonna cry being around him, he gonna have fun, or he's not coming around you. If you're a sourpuss, he wasn't coming around you. Because he loved to laugh and have fun. And he did. And when it comes serious to the Lord, like praise and worship, it was over. He loved praise and worship. He loved praise and worship songs, giving honor to God through his music. That's what he was all about.
Were you very proud of him? And
Very proud. I was elated over how God had used him, and he understood it was God, and he wasn't taking credit for none of it. He didn't give credit to me. He didn't give credit to his mother. He didn't give credit to nobody but God, which whom honor is due. And I was very proud of that.
I know you two worked on a couple of musical projects.
You know, actually, we worked on more than that.
Okay. Can you elaborate?
Well, it was quite a few that we worked on. We was working on a recording before we actually uh, got involved out there before the stroke happened. We was working on to come out with a new album and everything, and we had worked on my solo album, as you know. Imagine This, and he produced that for me, and he even played some of the music keyboards on certain songs for me. And it was recorded at his house in Rancho Cucamonga at the time. So we had different projects we were working on, and I had a special music song that God gave me. Actually, it was two of them. One in particular, I haven't named that song yet. I haven't come up with a song for that. I mean, a song title for that song yet. And it's real pretty. It's a beautiful song. And I didn't know. And then from that, I had another song that I had included on my CD. And so when Martin heard me playing the chords, he was infatuated. How you say that?
Infatuated
Infatuated.
or fascinated?
Yeah, fascinated. Either one. Over that music and the song, and he said, "Dad, how you do that? What's the chorus for that?" And I showed him because he really liked it, and he said, "I wanted to use this," so I said, "Go ahead, use it." And so I don't know if he really got to do that and everything because I had a stroke and all, but I'm coming back with with the song title. I really didn't know what genre that belonged in, and I have to figure it out. It's really, really pretty.
Well, I want to add to that you did an album back in was it the 70s?
1974.
1974. And what Martin, your son, did, he took some of your songs from that album
Yeah.
and rearranged
Yeah, he
those songs.
called it sampling or something like that. And he asked if he could do that because he liked what he heard on the album. And it was old school and stuff like that. And it was, and even some of the music artists from Institutional Church of God in Christ in Brooklyn, New York, when they heard it, they were fascinated and said I was ahead of my time playing and writing songs and the music. And I felt very, well, how can you say it? I really appreciated that they understood and appreciated the music. So I really, was thankful and grateful to them for what they had to say, because I had never thought of that at all. But they were right when I stopped and thought about it. And I said, you know what, they're right about that. Because I was way ahead of my time to the point where Twinkie Clark was saying, you gonna play that in church and stuff? I said, yeah. I thought nothing of it, wrongfully. And I would play what I heard in church, period.
Mhm.
And the saints be dancing.
Not knowing what they were
Right.
dancing
Yeah,
to.
because the bass run, that's why I didn't like to listen to other artists, so to speak. I didn't want to be influenced because when I don't know who the artist is of this song, when they said, it's your thing, do what you're going to do. But I like the bass run to it.
Uh-huh.
And I took that bass run and I took it, and I think I put it on my album, the bass run to a song that I wrote.
Okay.
I could have, I don't remember what it was, but I had something because I was influenced by, I just like that. I know I played it in church and they was picking them up, putting them down.
Dad, I want to kind of transition back to, let's talk about some of the memories of us being in the car, traveling, going on vacation. And let's talk about how that was.
You just want to laugh.
And
Okay.
what some of the fond memories
Oh, I have great memories.
with Martin.
Great memories because we had a Lincoln Continental town car, which is a pretty large car, but it wasn't a station wagon. But it was large enough for Martin to get up in the back window, and he would like to sleep in that back window.
Yeah, he did.
And his brothers and sisters would be in the back, in the seats and stuff, and in the floor, just make themselves comfortable. And Martin would be back in the window breaking wind. So everybody's busting up because of the foul stench. They couldn't hold their breath. You couldn't, and your brother.
True story.
And your sister. And everybody just crying. And Martin back there bouncing because he would love to be ornery and do stuff. And we enjoyed it anyway, not the stench, but we enjoyed having fun.
Do you recall on vacation we were traveling and I think we were laughing at somebody and
I know where you're going.
Okay, come on then.
Yeah. I'll come on with it. So I forget the town we was coming out of. We was west. I believe I went between Nebraska and I want to say Denver. And we was on this highway and I don't know why I did, I took some empty gas cans with me. I think they were brand new in case I ran out of gas and I had to get some. So we was on the highway and ran across these people that had ran out of gas. and they were walking in the highway. And the kids, all y'all was laughing at them. I said, y'all don't laugh at them because you never know what's going to happen. So the more I would say it, the more they got tickled and laughed. So to the point, I'll cut it short. Bottom line is, we ran out of gas. But the kids was laughing, but I had to walk to the station.
I thought you and your sons
Me
walked.
and my boys, me and Drew and Martin walked to get thank you to the station. And that really made the girls, they got so tickled until they had their mama laughing at us. And we walking in that hot sun to the station. I forget how many miles it was to fill up our gas cans to come back and put the gas in the car so we could keep being mobile down the highway. And I had told them that. So that event was over. We get to Denver. So we come in at, I forget what time it was. We come into the hotel. I tell the kids, I said, okay, I knew it was late. I didn't tell them it was late, but I just told them, I said, hey, y'all don't make no noise or laughing and clowning and being loud and all like that, you know. And they said, okay, Dad. All of a sudden they got tickled. I don't know what made them tickled, but they got so tickled and they just was laughing and laughing. And we all ended up having so much fun. But we paid for that, so to speak, you know, be okay, because every time I would tell them to quiet down, that's the louder they got. They got so tickled every time I chastised them. And then we was in this Furs cafeteria, I think it was. They had excellent food. We're sitting down eating, and you got no, what happened? To me, I had to go to the bathroom for whatever reason was. And Lisa found out. You did. Your name Lisa, right? So it was you.
My name Lisa.
Yeah. She found out that I got tickled. I had to go to the bathroom. So she started tickling me. And we had a sister at the church she was so funny praising the Lord. She loved to praise the Lord. And when she did, she was grinning, praising God. And it looked like she was crying, but she wasn't. And so Lisa could mock anybody and have you laying out in stitches. She mocked this woman and did exactly like her. And the more I looked in her face and seen this woman, I got so tickled because I missed her anyway. You know, we love to see her praise God. So the more Lisa knew I was tickled, she got down in my face. She got down in my face and her stance, having me crying, wanting me to go off using the bathroom. And I almost did. Oh, I was so close. That girl just don't know at the time. Because if I had told her, she probably would have kept on until I did go off. But she got me so tickled. And now the kids got tickled. Now mom got tickled. So everybody in the car was crying. And Lisa was bouncing. She got so happy and tickled herself that we all was tickled. She was always doing stuff.
True.
Her and her brother would always do stuff together.
Very true.
And so that's what happened. But it was cute back then. We had so much fun. Every summer, I worked at the time at Armstrong Tire and Rubber, and I had a vacation check. They shut down the company in August every year. So I would plan, my mom and I would plan a vacation for the family. And so we would travel different states. We went to about 43 to 46 states. We almost made 50 states because we went to a different state every year. And most of the time we had to go to New York to visit my mother. and my brother, my two siblings, because Sam and Norman, and Danny, my youngest brother, they all moved with mom to Brooklyn, to New York. Norman moved to, he got a job at the bank, at one of the top banks. So he was downtown Manhattan, and mom and Sam and Carol and Danny lived in Brooklyn. So we had to go see him. So we would always go to Carol's house that lived, Carol lived downstairs, and mom and Norman, them live upstairs. So we would go most of the time and stay with Carol. And one year we went there to stay with Carol, and we couldn't quite stay with Carol because somebody wanted to stay with us, some little fellas. And we couldn't handle that. We had to I told them, we got to go. We got up and left, packed and left, because we couldn't take it. But we used to have so much fun with Carol and Eddie and Crystal and Candy. And we enjoyed that trip in Brooklyn, New York. And we'd go to Institutional Church, God in Christ, and we would go to Norman's church. I can't think of the name of it right now. But we had so much fun. And I remember Bishop Carl Williams, him and his son, Carl Jr., he told me, he said, man, you got to stand an invitation and preach for me anytime you come to New York at Institutional Church of God in Christ.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It was. And we had a good time. We were close, all of us.
It's awesome. Do you recall at an early age, I remember Martin got kind of sick. Do you remember that?
Yeah, Martin had I forget what you call that.
Was it meningitis?
No, it could have been, but I'm the
at
one
an early age.
The incident that I'm talking about is where he had they had the cut on his stomach. The doctor did.
Yeah, well, the meningitis was early on.
Oh, before
when he
that
was
time.
a young, child.
Yeah, he had that. I remember.
Mhm.
Yeah, and so we thought we was gonna lose him then, but the Lord interceded and healed his body, and we were so excited about it. So he made it, and we was glad about that. You know, we didn't know he was going to end up later on down the road. You know, wasn't going to make it, but he did then. So that was good.
At an early age, he was affected by that meningitis. And then I do recall when we moved here to California, meaning myself, my sister, and Martin, we had to get our shots all over again to get back into school out here.
Yeah.
Mom had misplaced those shot records. So we
Right.
had to get all of those shots all over again.
I
And we
remember
got
that
sick.
too. Yeah.
We got sick. And at that time, he was in the hospital again for, I can't think of what it was, but the poison could have killed him, but it didn't because of the muscles
Right.
in his stomach.
Right.
Is what kept him
That's
alive.
what the doctor said anyway.
Yes.
Because they said they had never seen a individual so fit physically as Martin was. When they cut his stomach open, there was so much muscle there that protected him from the poison spreading throughout his body. You know, that was God then taking care of him. You know, and this time when the Lord called him, it was just his time to go.
So, you know, if you don't want to, if you want to, we could start talking about that. And, you know, let's talk about January 17th was the day, January 17th, 2025 is when you had a stroke.
Yeah. Well, actually, it was that then or February?
January 17th.
Okay. Yeah,
2025.
I had
you
a stroke, and I didn't feel anything. I felt normal. I just went to the bathroom, and I had to go to the bathroom for whatever reason. So I went back and got in the bed, and I said, "Well, what I'm gonna do if my stomach start cramping again, where I have to go to the bathroom, then I could either crawl to the bathroom or I can scoot to the bathroom." Because when I got in the bed, I decided to slide down off of the bed into the floor. And I didn't know that once you go to the floor, the medical people consider you having, um, I guess, a stroke. I don't know. I forget what they said about it. Oh, they consider it a fall. I never fell out of the bed. I slid to the floor, and I was next to my nightstand, and my phone was on the nightstand. I got from my phone. I said, I better call my sister. She's in another part of my house. I said, let me call my sister and let her know that I need her help. And I called my sister. And I said, well, no, it's too early to disturb her from sleep. So I'm going to text her and say, I need your help, which I did. So maybe an hour later, I forgot the time span. I called her, texted her rather, and said, I need your help. So when she came in, I think it was an hour later, I may be off, can't remember. However, she came into my bedroom. She seen me in the floor and she said, what you doing in the floor? Did you fall? I said, no, I didn't fall. And I said, I got to use the bathroom. And I figured that if I had to go and couldn't get up, I could scoot or crawl. She said, oh. And then about 2 minutes later, she came back to me and she said, looked at my face. She said, you didn't have a stroke. I'm calling the paramedics. But she called my kids. So my kids was on the phone encouraging her to call the paramedics. Said, yeah, Aunt Carol, call the paramedics. So she listened to the kids and called. She told me, I'm calling the paramedic. I said, I don't need no paramedic. She said, I'm calling them anyway. Well, it was a good thing because I couldn't get out of the bed myself. Remember I said I got in the floor. I got up out the floor and got back in the bed. Couldn't get up. For whatever reason, I could not get up. And I felt no difference. I felt like the same, like I do right now. I didn't understand it.
Mhm.
Didn't even know I was having a stroke.
Right. Well, during that time, Martin and all of us, meaning my siblings, we made our way, to the hospital, seeing about you, seeing after you, and things like
Yes,
that.
you did. Yeah.
And while there, we saw my brother Martin. And at that time, we just noticed a tremendous amount of weight loss,
Uh,
and which rose a lot of concern for us.
right.
And we didn't know what was going on.
Exactly.
I know that he was handling some of your affairs and some of your business affairs, things like that. And I know that he came to see you.
Right.
And can you just share the last visit that you had with your son?
Well, when he came to see me, him and his wife, and I was glad to see them. And, we just talked and had fun. And you know him, he gonna have you laughing. That's what he did. So we we laughed with him because you couldn't help it. And that's basically what we was doing and talking about and doing a little business what we had planned. We were going to have some I think it was some of the musical artists for some event that we were planning to do, and which we never got opportunity to do it. But that's basically what we was doing. But he never told me what he was going through, because I know he was trying to spare me because he was feeling for me as it was. Because I know, he loved me and everything, and he didn't want me to know what he was going through, because he didn't know what the end was going to be or whatever for him. So he never discussed it, him or his wife, with me, and or my sister or my brother. So nor none of us. We was all in the dark. But yeah, it was a joyful time, and that's all I remember. So the next thing I know, he was gone, because his wife had told me that they had expected a full recovery, that he was doing good, because she had just seen him. He was doing real good and everything. A couple of days later, he was gone, because next thing I know, you and your siblings came to me on a Sunday, I think it was, and y'all said that y'all wanted me to know what was going on before everybody else did. And it was so beautiful, because I can see that image right now, how you guys had hovered around each other and around me and hugged me. And we all hugged and cried together as you told me that he didn't make it. And I never will forget that. And I always will appreciate you all showing me how much you love me and care, as well as your brother. That was a beautiful scene, I'm telling you. And I appreciate you. I don't know what you had to do with it, but I know you had a lot to do with it. But because I know you, and I don't know what it was, because I didn't ask nobody what was in charge or what went on like that.
Mhm.
But I just know that you had a lot to say, because of the way you really overprotected about your father. I call you, now you may not agree, but I call you, you call it a, a daughter or daughters, when they say fathers, what do they say? Fathers, no, the sons, a mother's son, like that.
Mhm.
So I would be a father's daughter to you, where you really overprotective of me. You don't like to bite fool with me or saying anything, so I understand that.
What was
That's
the
all.
initial, I guess
It was a
romance?
shock.
Yes.
It was a shock,
Mhm.
because it caught me off guard. And your oldest brother and his wife didn't want to tell me nothing either, because they knew they was trying to protect me from everything. Because they figured that if I found out what's going on, that it would take me out of here. But I'm stronger than that. In my mind, I placed my mind, once I realized what's going on, I placed my mind to be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. That's what I did. I relied on God. That's the only way I made it. Otherwise, I couldn't make it. And I thought to myself, I don't know how you feel, sweetie, but, don't take this the wrong way. But I said I was so glad, and I mean this from my heart, that your mother wasn't here
Mhm.
to see her baby son gone, because she wouldn't have been able to take it.
Mhm.
I don't think she'd have made. I think she would have fell right on out.
Mhm.
And now that's going to be really worse on me, because I have to deal with her then, and I couldn't take it. I probably would have went out then, seeing her out, because I know she wouldn't have been able to take that. And that would have been terrible for everybody.
It was a shock for
Yeah.
everyone,
Yeah.
because we didn't we had no idea
No,
of what was going on. We knew something was up with our brother.
but he wouldn't say. Yeah,
He didn't
you did.
say what it was.
Right, exactly.
And I know that you had missed seeing him quite a bit.
Yeah, I was
Asked about him a
wondering.
lot.
Yeah, and I was wondering because I figured, I said, okay, he's letting down. He's not following through what he said he was going to do.
Mhm.
He's procrastinating and things of that nature, but he wasn't.
Right.
He was just dealing with something that he had to deal with. You know, that was emergency purposes. But yeah, once I understood that, I think it was you told me he was dealing with some stuff. And then when he came up to see me, him and his wife, as he was going through, you know, and somehow or another I understood what was going on without him really telling me that he had cancer. And I still didn't, it dawned on me when he said he had cancer. Somebody said, I think he said he told me he had cancer, but he didn't tell me how bad it was. He said he had cancer and he was going to Mexico. And that was it. So I didn't inquire because I figured he wouldn't want me to get all in his business, so I didn't do it. I let him stay private to tell me what he wanted to disclose to me. If he didn't want to disclose anything, that's on him, you know. So what can I do or say? I should stay in my place, and that's what I did. I may have been wrong. I hope I wasn't wrong. God forgive me if I was wrong. And I want you all to forgive me if I was wrong. But I tried to let my son have his own. He was a grown man. He had a right to his own opinion, and his wife did. And I didn't have no right to interfere with it. So hopefully I was okay with him in his sight, in his eyes, and with the whole family.
You know, you were the vehicle, you and mom, to get us here. Your mission was to get us here,
Accomplished.
and we got here. Now it's up to us how we work out our life. And then, of course, we need our parents to continue to guide us
Right.
as the phases of life
Going
change.
each one, right. Going through every cycle. Yes,
Absolutely.
right. Yes, ma'am.
With Martin passing and everything, what has it been like for you since, he's
Well,
been
it's been rough because
gone?
every now and then it hits me, and then I can't take it, and so I can't help it. I just start crying because I said, man, that was my baby boy, the only baby boy I had, and he's gone. He's not here anymore. And that was really, really like that. Like I said, if you or your older brother or your younger sibling is gone, no. I can't say I wouldn't want to live anymore because that wouldn't be right because left me here for a reason. Got too much work for me to do to say that. So I wouldn't say that. But it'd still be disturbing.
One thing that I'm a thinker, and I discovered that Martin passed away to 1 year to the date of you having a stroke.
Wow.
Do you feel like there's any significance
Connection
to that?
I never thought because I never knew that. So I never thought on that, but I don't think so that it would have a significance.
Mm.
I don't think so. I really have to think about that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Do you recall the dream that I shared with you?
Yeah. Yeah.
You helped me to understand what that dream meant because I had a hard time. I had the dream years prior to, of course, Marty passing away. I even had it when mom was still here.
Oh.
And so I'll share the dream a little bit.
Yeah.
and you can dissect it with me. So um, we were standing, and the we is my siblings,
Right.
my two brothers and my sister. And I believe it might have been a sister-in-law who was there as well. We were standing outside of a hospital and waiting to hear the doctor's results concerning you. You were in the hospital room. One of your dear friends who had already passed away um, walked past myself and my sibling standing outside of the hospital. And I turned and I looked at my siblings and I said, I don't know what you guys are doing, but I'm about to go follow her into that room to find out what is going on with my dad. Because I know, as you are, Dad, you're very, very private concerning your health and your affairs. So, even till this day. So, what I did, I followed behind her far enough to where when she walked into your room, um, you were laying in the bed, you were under like a white sheet, white covers, the norm, and your legs were cut off. Well, from your knees down, were cut. And you whispered to your friend in the dream, you whispered. And so after that, that was that. I couldn't remember any other part of the dream. And so fast forward, when you had your stroke and you couldn't walk for a while, I thought about the dream, but the cancer part didn't make sense because you didn't have cancer. Um, and it led me to my brother when I found out that he had cancer and how he kept it quiet. He didn't really want to share it with amongst the family for whatever reason that was. I was talking with his wife one day on the phone, and that's when she shared with me he was at end of life. And the dream at that moment connected, the cancer part connected. And I almost passed out literally in my kitchen because I connected the dream. And I know that had I understood what the dream meant altogether, I wouldn't have been able to take it. That's why a lot of times I know my dreams are prophetic. And so they come in parts. And sometimes I can understand them, sometimes I can't. Most of the time in my dreams, they're exact actually, but the faces are not exact. So the person in the dream is not really who it is in real life. So that was it spared us, and God has a way of just sparing us, and and because he loves us so much. We love our loved ones so much, and there's only so much that we can take as a human being.
Right.
So what do you have to say to that, Dad?
Well, he doesn't put allow to come upon us on what we can bear. And so God knew that what his plans were, and he knew what our plans were. And he knows we're strong, and he figured we could take it. That's why he allowed it to happen, or he wouldn't allow it to happen. And concerning me having my legs cut off at my knees and below, it could have been that my dad, because he had his legs severed under his knees, both of them. So it could have been something like that toward me, following in his footsteps. But it didn't go that far. It stopped it at the having a stroke. And he said he's not going to take me out because of the stroke. Just slow me down, settle me down so I could see what he got for me to do. Now I understand exactly what to do, what he wants to call me to do. And there was confirmation back then, a while back, but it's been more what do you call it?
Confirmation.
Confirmation, even from today, when Carol came up here with those two young ladies, and they had jumped on board quick with both feet, so to speak. And I needed to see them to see how they felt about the whole situation. And they all on board with it. Well, that's God's doing because that's what He calling me to do that I have to do.
I want to just let you know that we love you. Your children love you. I love you.
Thank you. I love you back.
And, you know, down through the years, these past, I want to say the past 5 years in particular, I've learned so much about you.
Wow.
A lot of times, you know, growing up, we don't understand our parents, but
Oh, yeah.
I know your mom wanted the best for each of us.
That's
You
right.
taught us, you laid the foundation. I'm very proud to be a part of your fabric.
Wow.
And it's an honor to be your daughter. It's an honor that you're
Right
my
back
father.
at you. Right back at you.
And
I'm
so
honored to be.
I
your
just,
father.
and I know I was something else growing up. This ain't about me, but you know, I'm giving my dad flowers right now and how,
Oh,
you
man.
know, we love you so much. And Marty,
Love you.
he loved you to the point that it was a constant. We did your voiceovers all the time, daily. That's how much we love you. So I just want you to know
Wow.
that you are a
Wow.
good father. You've
Oh,
been a good
thank you.
father.
Thank you. I
Um,
try.
no, you did it. You
Wow.
did it, you know, and we just appreciate
Thank
everything
God.
you did for us, you've done
Amen.
for us. Uh,
Thank
even
you.
the whoopings, we needed it because we were not menaces to society. We were not criminals. And so there was nothing wrong with that. And so I
Thank
just
God.
wanted to take this time to say thank you, and
You're welcome.
so happy that you
Thank you.
agreed to doing the interview, because I know that it may have been hard for you,
Yeah.
but you didn't have a voice the day of my brother's funeral
Yeah.
service. You have one now.
Right.
So
Thank you for that.
as a father, you deserve to be heard in concerning your family, your
Oh, yeah.
children, and
Man.
everybody else who's important to you.
Mm.
So is there anything else that you want to take the time to say as we wrap up this interview?
Yeah. Thank you so much for having the interview, for allowing me to be able to express how I feel and about my son and my family. And I want you to know, you know, I wasn't expecting you to really get into how you feel and the family feel about me, but I feel the same way about you and your siblings. And I'm proud of you and proud to be your father. You know, and when I see you grow and be grown as a grown woman, that makes me so proud. And you're very intelligent and smart and beautiful with it, and know how to carry yourself. That means a lot. That your mom and I did a good job, and because I didn't know, you know, we didn't know. We learn as you go on the fly, and we only do what God tell us to do towards the kids, and He told us what to do towards you guys. We had to learn. We couldn't do everything our mom and dad, or not my dad, but my mother had told us to do, because back in the day they did it a different way and growing up and doing their children. And we couldn't do that to you guys at all. We had our own way of thinking and doing and raising you guys to the best of our ability. And that's what we tried to do. And there's no way that I could do like some of the old timers when they would whoop their children or loved ones. They would whoop them with all of their might. That didn't make no sense to me. Or your mom. How you gonna whoop your children or beat your children with all your might, and you a grown somebody, and you whooping a little kid like they grown criminals? We couldn't do that. and we loved you guys too much. So that's why we would try to take you out to the fast food places. We try to take you out to the amusement parks. We try to travel as much as we could to try to let you have adventure and enjoy yourself and know there's more to life than hollering and all this trying to what do you call it? What's the word I'm looking for? When you try to always uh, um, correct you all the time.
Chastise,
Thank you, as if you're always doing something wrong. That would be wrong because that's not right. You're not always doing something to keep us upset and mad where you gotta be on alert for whoopings all the time. That wasn't right. So we didn't do it that way. We loved you guys. We let you get by with certain things and certain things we didn't do, such as this is just an example. And I realized later down the road that I was wrong because of our denominational religious belief. We wasn't allowed to go to the proms and stuff growing up, and so we didn't allow y'all to go. And later down, it was too late then, but I thought about it. I said, that's not right. There's nothing wrong with them graduating from high school, going to the proms. They growing up and everything, and let them, hang out a little bit like that. And so I apologize to you. It's too late to correct it.
You were just fine, Dad. Based on what I learned later on in life, you were right on target.
Thank you. That's what we were thinking.
I kid you
But
not.
we try to keep you from having to experience some bad stuff, what they would do at proms and different places. And that's all we was doing, trying to keep you guys protected from the evil that's out there.
Dad,
Yes.
I'm a switch gears right now because we're gonna wrap things up.
Sure.
We're gonna make it a little light and fun for the next few seconds. Kobe or LeBron, and tell me why.
And what? Considering what? Kobe or
Kobe
LeBron?
or
I
LeBron,
understand that. What about them?
your choice
What you mean? But,
as a player.
which one I like the best?
There you
between
go.
the two?
There you go.
They basically
Talk to the people.
they have like different
I'm sorry, who did you pick?
I haven't picked one.
So I need you to pick one.
Okay, I will.
Kobe.
But I'm trying to tell you the difference because LeBron is a guard, Kobe is a guard, but LeBron is a big guard. Like he almost 7 foot tall, where Kobe is 6'6" or 6'7", so he's much shorter. But I like both of them really. It's hard to choose, but I know I have to get one. I know I have to get one. And so I guess I would, and as the GOAT, I would say LeBron.
Okay.
Opposed to Kobe, and I'll tell you why.
Very well.
Because Kobe, he was an excellent player at his height, especially, and he kind of changed the ball because folk liked the way he played because he played like Michael Jordan, and he's the closest one to being playing like Michael Jordan. But LeBron was bigger, and he's on like Magic Johnson's height and stuff, playing a guard and fast as the guards at that height. So, and he set the scoring records and stuff like that. So every time he plays right, he's yet playing, and every time he plays now and scores, he's breaking his own record. He's setting his record and breaking it every time.
Okay. So last question, Dad.
Yes.
Donald Trump or HE double hockey stick?
Who's that? Double hockey stick.
HE double hockey stick.
I'll take 18. No. It ain't no Donald Trump for me at all.
Dad, thanks again for this interview. It was fun. I
Yes,
love
man.
you.
Love you too. Thank you.
Please tell the people bye.
Bye.